likes, so please give him a welcome.
So, man, what an awesome event, right? This is just the second year, and it's already feels like a staple event for our community, and it's such a great place to be a part of it. And walking around like, these are my people. These are them right here. So I'm really glad y'all came out to support it, because without y'all, there's no event. So really awesome to be a part of this. This panel today, I'm gonna just let them go through, and let's just go through what their name. Just give me your name and. I know it's hard to do for some of y'all, but what your profession is, right? So we're going to make this tight. We got a lot to talk about, so we'll start down here with Jerry.
My name is Jerry Farber. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina, and I've been performing, some people think comedy, since 1961. But between 1960 and 61, I was a traveling salesman. That's when I came to Columbus, and there were stores for the older ones, Curvin, something called Curvin, and the kitty shop, and the casual corner. And I sold. My father had a small company. I sold clothes from J. Ray Sportswear. And they were lovely, but I hated dragging samples of Bermuda shorts to Columbus. So, and I always wanted to play piano and tell jokes. So for the last 60 years, it's been a nice ride. And I love this town particularly, mostly because it's so close to Phoenix City. Which is I've been talking to you.
I'm Mike Howard. I grew up in Phoenix City, Jerry.
I'm in Auburn. I really I'm in Auburn.
You've got like the Orange Bowl. The Orange Bowl. We're just settling what age we are. But I walk across the Dillingham Street Bridge every Saturday to go to Bradley Theater. Sometimes in Georgia. Rarely in Rialto. I don't know why.
Well, you get 2 boxes of popcorn at the Rialto.
So it was so exciting in Phoenix City growing up. I joined the Marine Corps in 1963 just to get out. And when I was out, 67, I went to the University of Georgia. And recently, in the last 20 years, I bought, no reason, a couple of houses out in Hurtsboro. Spent a fortune on them. I bought one for $6,000 and put $70,000 into it. And you know what it's worth now? $6,000. They want to just kill deer and bring them inside and drink some beer. And they don't care if it's a steam room in there. And recently I bought a house on Front Avenue. And one of my favorite places, what brought me here, was ride on bikes. Seriously, and I ride the bike. I bought the house on Front Avenue so I can roll down to the Riverwalk and ride carefully out the porch. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Mike. Absolutely. All right.
Hello, I'm Hellen Pinckney. I actually grew up here in Columbus, Georgia. My dad was military, and so they call us brats. I forget what that means. There's a whatever those words are. Acronym. Yeah, that's it. An acronym for something. But I graduated back yonder, and I have actually been in and out of Columbus after my 18th birthday and been around the world and back. And I'm a nurse. I do mental health, and I also just became a certified essential oil coach.
Right.
Yeah. Because I do believe in teaching wellness and looking at cause and effect. So
Great. Your people are here too.
I see that.
Yeah. All right.
I'm Donna Sweat. I'm the owner of Sweat Me LLC. I'm located on Fulton Avenue. Originally been born in Frankfurt, Germany, but Columbus, Georgia is my home. I graduated from Carver High School in 1974. I jogged for 14 years before I became a bodybuilder, and I started competing at the age of 36, and now I own my own business and competing. I'm not competing anymore. I retired from competing, but I'm a personal trainer trying to help people.
Okay, well, hey everybody, I'm Sigrid Solomon. I'm also homegrown native. I said, on my tombstone they're going to put, she bloomed when she was planted. I've been practicing that for a while. figuring out what I was gonna, when people say, how do you want to be remembered and all of that, I said, well, she's looking where she was planted. I have done a lot of things in Columbus. I have started out as a school teacher, actually a carver, and changed careers into being a therapist at the school. I was late in life, like at 39, and have had a great profession with that. And during that period of time, I started pursuing my heart and creative blocks and what got in the way of being able to thrive creatively. And so that's been integrated in my work. I do artwork with my therapy, with the imagery, help out the process, and I actually just do love it. And been able to be a witness to our town is kind of shocking and wonderful at the same time.
Absolutely.
And have all the energy around.
As you can see, the panel has been very, very particularly picked for why they're here. This isn't just a random drawing of the hat. These people are the people we look up to in our community, and I know that it's funny, I'm 33. I remember when 33 was old. I do remember that, and I remember very clearly, like, man, golly, they're way up there. And now I'm going, well, maybe it's not the case. And the reason I bring that up is what this is about is conscious aging. And I'll be set up, I'm not going to name any companies, but I'll be set up for a green day or something, and people will come by and they'll be like, man, I'm 40 years old, I ain't riding a bicycle anymore. And I'm thinking, man, you might know it. And you just don't see it the same way. And it's really interesting to see how some people take, man, I'm 60 years old, that's past for me, and they're sitting in a rocking chair. And that's their thing. I'm not saying anything wrong with it. It's just the conscious aging. What are you actually going to do with your time? And what does old age mean to you? And I think that some things that I've learned so far in my life, and I want to start putting this in with them, is life is hard, right? There's no exception here. I don't know your story. I don't know all of y'all's story, but I know it hasn't been easy. And when I see y'all, I look at you as a true success, every one of you, and how y'all are thriving. And, your definition of success can be different. When I see this group, I get excited, about my next 40 years. I'm really excited about it. So I kind of want to start out. What I like to do is, this is very informal. If y'all have a question in the middle of it, let's talk, right? They're going to be the same way. This is a fun group. Everybody I've talked to is just like, yeah, man, it'll flow. Let's go with it. And we also will have a 10-minute question at the end of it. So if you got something you want to hold, that's fine as well, all right? So we'll just get started. I just want to get y'all talking in general. What would you say that was very important to you when you were younger? Let's just go to, say, your 20s. And has that changed? And what's important now? Why would you say that changed? So let's start with you, Mrs. Celia.
It had to change.
Okay.
It had to change. I mean, life had made it change. But what was important younger are the things I had to let go of, like making sure I was popular, making sure everything I was dressed, for a certain way, did a certain way, got an education, got a lot of pressure to perform and do. Well, life doesn't keep you on that season, It's a good season. I mean, that's 20s is a good season. I prefer this one.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I really do. I prefer this one personally. I don't know how the rest of you feel, but it's nice personally to let go of that pressure and just to, even in the pain of accepting the limitations of growing older, it's just so freeing to grow into who you really are and not have to do anything that's false. But it's important to have that 20s to build up for this.
Sure.
That's my take. I don't know. What do you think?
I do better when I walk around. I start jogging at the age of 18, and I'm 61 now, and I competed up until 55 in the gymnastics in the top second, and I'm having the best time of my life now. Life is not over. Most people get 40, even 30, 40, 50. This thing is over. I'm ready to retire. So much traveling you can do. What me is about balancing your life. You want to exercise. You want to tone your body. You want to feel good about you. You want to balance your lifestyle. We all have different activities in our lives, and then when the unexpected happens, you want to be able to bounce back. You don't want to say, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. Because when that happens, you start having what? Health issues.
You want to exercise. And everybody don't want to be a bodybuilder, so that's not the thing here. The thing is you want to keep the body moving. You want to keep it moving. And you'd be surprised, strength training, it helps fight depression, high blood pressure, arthritis. So there are numerous of things that you can do to better your life. You don't want to go around thinking it's all over. You want to pick up the pieces so you have grandkids. You have other family members that need you. So you want to think of living.
We all have, our bodies is an investment. That's what I call it, investment.
Miss Donna, so was that your importance when you were 20s as well? Was that?
Well, yes, sir. And my thing was, I've been in fitness ever since I was 18 years old. And so I jogged at Lake Bottom. That's my home. Whatever job, I started working at the medical center when I graduated from high school. Graduated June 4th, 1974. Go ahead and do the math. I told you my age. So that June 4th, I graduated from high school. June 6th, I started working at the medical center. And every day I would jog. I was on this journey for a long time. Then one morning, and some nights I got up. I'll get in the mirror, I was just practice. But every day, I was still go jogging at Lake Bottom. No matter what job I had, what shift I worked, I was still on that long journey. So later in the years, I thought, well, wow, I'm 36 years old, I'm ready. Got me a personal trainer in one of the gyms, you know, my Oaks Gym on top of the hill, that's where I started from. And so, along that time, I kept training, and then before I knew, hey, my body, everything came into play. So there's no time to give up. You just keep going.
Miss Donna, if I don't stop, you're going to take all my questions from me. Yeah, because you're answering stuff I want to ask you, so don't do it yet. All right, let's get on, because if I get, there's some more questions you're going to that I'm like, oh, no. All right, let's stop it. All right. I want to hear the whole story, too. We got time, we got to work on it. All right, Miss Hellen. So from your 20s, what was important then that's not important now, and why did it change?
In my 20s, I was scared to death. I was already a mama. I was working on my third pregnancy. I didn't know how that happened. I kind of figured it out as it went along, and I said, I gotta stop that. And I really always had that urge to know more, be more. I wanted to, it's like a hunger. And in my 20s, I'm just as hungry now. I'm really looking for me. And I saw on the sign up that personal training, yeah, I'm personal training myself to grow up and get beyond that stuff that was important in my 20s. It's not even important anymore. I'm just glad to be here where I am and aware. Because as a nurse, from birth to the shroud that they wrap you in, I've seen it all, and I just want to be conscious because I plan on being here to teach the best of it.
Right?
20s?
Yeah, out of the 20s, yeah.
Like I said, Jerry, I'm from Phoenix City, and I really didn't have, at 18 I joined the Marine Corps to get out of Phoenix City, by the way, which I love.
Yeah, that's
Sort of. And was a machine gunner in the Marine Corps. Then I had a top secret. It took 2 years, and then I ended up at NSA in Fort Meade. And I was boxing for the Marine Corps in Baltimore, which was down the road. Every day I'd just go down and box, and I had a mate. And I met an artist from Maryland Institute that came in, and he was painting and drawing, and Mr. Lewis, the owner of the gym, made him box with us. he became a good friend, and I had cornea abrasions. They took my license away. I got out of the Marine Corps and went to the University of Georgia, took an art class. And the rest is, I never had a plan on what I was going to do. I still don't. I barely got here because I had a taxi.
You flew from Brooklyn last night just for 2 years today.
And, it's difficult. And I just never planned. I just ended up doing stuff. So I was
It makes me feel better.
Never.
I think there's a real merit to not planning.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to stay conscious and want to live from whatever is inspiring you in here, that's become more important to me as I've gotten older. It sounds like you've had it from the very beginning.
I've got to stand up. It's my leg. It's not the So, I was born, I'll be 80 years old, so, coming up. And I don't feel like I'm not aware of it, but when I see young people look at me around the pool, I'll be a 22-year-old young male thing I can give you when you're 80. Part of trying to be fully alive with all the pain and joy is to be aware, is fully aware. And I just want to tell you, part of real quickly if I may, the best joy came at 63 years of age. I became a father. Well, and we know he's mine, we're not sure it's hers. I have a son named Joshua, and I've brought him here many times. He's a friend of the family, and Tammy, I don't think she's here, thanks for having me to participate, because I think it's so relevant. When I was so anyway, my kid, I've taken him to more funerals than I have beaches. Like Buddhist friends, they teach their children that early. They don't wait till they're 30 or 40 and then there's a disease. And oh my God, I thought we lived there. Oh, well, that's the best sound. Fox and MSNBC, I can deal with that noise. So now my kid and I are pretty close. I'm trying to get him to consider coming to college here at Columbus State, because I'm a big fan of your city. So the other day, we come from a funeral, and he said, Dad, how do you feel about you're dying, you're going to be 80? I said, yeah, but I'm old, I'm not dead yet, so no rush. He said, well, Mom and I are thinking how we can make it really pleasant for you, painless and bloodless. How? And some of you would, if you've seen our show, you would understand what he meant. He said, we know you like to lie in bed with a candle and overhead lights and watch videos. So he said, we'll play some of your old shows on video and you can be bored to death. And it's not just a joke, but it's part of it. And grateful to be alive. I'm thankful now. At 20, I wanted to own the mansion, a car, everything. Thought I would have never planned for that, but I am still alive. And I think this. When I was an overactive kid, and my mother one time told me, I'll never forget, the only time I ever thought she was trying to hurt me or be mad. And I was not acting out of college and crazy. And she said, I wish you and all your friends could be 85 and terminally ill. She said this, and dying. And you thought you were dying. But in fact, you're still a 22-year-old, and you'd be more aware of how to be more gentle, more gracious, more patient, more empathetic, which I think as we age are the more important values, certainly in your and I never did. I'm still a jerk. fully aware of the finiteness of time, and I am truly grateful to have good friends that are 24-hour friends, and some are here. Son's godmother, Margaret, Buddy, Tammy. But I do want to thank Mike for his service. To me, the service, and I was also in Vietnam. Not Vietnam, Canada, but I was in Canada.
This guy cut them off. Tell them where that's going. All right, so a little bit, not quite as deep of a question. Did y'all? I know when I turned, man, my 30-year-old birthday was coming up. I was like, oh God, like it's happening, you know. And then I was a little nervous about it. And then I woke up on my 30th birthday. I was like, man, I'm so glad I survived my 20s because I was on a roll. My mom's in here. She knows. She gets us phone calls and me busted up somewhere. But did y'all have a birthday that kind of was like was one of those points you were real nervous about it until you got there? Did any of those stand out to you?
Well,
Your 40's a big one. I don't know. My mom turned 60 and we threw a heck of a party for her, so she couldn't be upset about
I
it.
especially remember when my daddy turned 40, and I was lying on the sofa at my house when I was young. I don't remember the age. And I'm bawling. My mother said, what are you crying about? And I said, Daddy's turning 40 today. He's getting ready to die. It was just, yeah. And so when I turned 40, I thought I was getting ready to die too. But now in my 70th decade, I'm just, that didn't scare me so much. I felt like that was an extra gift and an encore. Not that it, I'm not going to deny that it didn't have its fears and anxieties, but it was also an opportunity. And I saw it as that, as an opportunity to really hone in and clarify those values and use myself well. And start really listening and really paying attention. So, but that 40, that got me.
So I guess on top of this, when you just did it for me, but like, what were your expectations of getting older? When you were thinking about it as a young person, what did you have expectations of? I go back to that person that thinks that 40 is old, right? Do you have expectations of certain ages that you thought you were going to be different, or is?
Well, when I was actually going to school, you see, I started school at a different level than most people, I got into life with babies first, even though I went to school first. I just sort of did it backwards. And I wind up doing this, going to school in my 20s, had children already, been married, and was still going to school. And I didn't see anything planned. I just had babies to take care of, and I knew that that was my focus. Age, once I figured out Maslow's, everybody's got this, young and all of them have these expectations when you're at a certain age. I'm thinking, did I do it yet? Did I pass something? And it just didn't matter to me because I'm forever a student and a teacher at the same time. So I don't have any expectations of a certain age. I just realized one day, my daughter says, Mom, I'm going to celebrate your 50th. I'm saying, really? In half a century? And it just is, because I just don't give it any credence. I'm like you. Plan what?
Yeah.
When I was 60, I was having lunch with my 90-year-old aunt. And she said, how does it feel to be 60? And I said, well, I would have thought I would have had a little more figured out. And she at 90 said, oh, darling, I wish I did too. And it was like, oh, you don't? So, I guess I would know those expectations that we'll have that key or have it completely figured out and have all the answers and know everything. My experience is I know a lot less about some things and more about other things. But whatever that magic key is, that's not there.
I'm sorry.
So go on, Jerry.
But you just said an expression that really makes me sad. I've said it a lot, but when I hear other people say, young in particular, I wish I had done that, or I wish. And we have one craft we know at this, and just to do it. And I think I'm prepared for what's coming because when you're a comedian, you have people just walk out and sometimes give you signals with parts of their hands. And not road signs either. And so you've got to be tough. Not quite like a Marine, but you still have to be able to handle rejection, which is a part of everybody's life in some form or the other. But life is it still is worth living. And it's been a great ride. And when you said how I want to be remembered, I just want people to remember me as, I think he's alive. That would,
To fully engage, to fully engage and fully embrace the
Yes.
life that we've been
And all
lucky
the
enough to
moments.
have, all the moments.
because I think that it's and I have regrets, and some are intense, but you have to still dealing with all of them. But real quickly, one more minute, because it was in the last Sunday's newspaper, an article. And I was trying to think how I could be in earnest and make, as opposed to doing some nightclub joke, is in my life, in addition to my child, having a kid at 63, is being a part of a homeless shelter in Atlanta. And there was a big story in the paper, the Atlanta paper. After an 8-year court battle, our shelter called Peachtree Pine in Atlanta is very unpopular. And there are 800 people that sleep there and are fed twice a day by a couple of churches. And we won a case, and Emory is paying our shelter $9.7 million because they colluded with 2 other defendants to get them out. Because we're downtown Atlanta. So they did get us out. We're moving a mile away. But to go to a place where nobody expects you to tell a joke, and they just see you a human, and to be of help, and to hug. And I take Josh there because I want him to get it early, and not when I did in my 60s. That makes life really relevant to me, experience. You feel you're really useful.
That's a big secret to aging, I think, is to find that
Usefulness to somebody else where you're outside.
beyond the self.
And I'm dating a homeless woman now, Bob. And it's nice because you can drop her off anywhere. I don't mean that. I couldn't appreciate it. Please don't mean that. I didn't mean that. The first part is true.
Miss Donna, do you have expectations?
Well, I guess I never looked at, 20, 30, 40. I was just on this roller coaster all my life. And competing, and when you're into that life, it's different. So, training, trying to eat properly, trying to work, so I'm just juggling things around. And so I think a lot of my friends, I would say, as I compete, I would say, what's going on? Because I'm in my own world. And so I said, what's going on? They'll say the same old thing, you're not missing nothing. So I never looked at myself like 40, 50. I didn't get depressed. When I got 60, I'm having the time of my life now. I'm enjoying everything, helping other people. And then people come to me in that age, 40 and 50, they're trying to get their life together. So that's why I enjoy helping other people balance their life. That's great. Yes, I don't have any regrets. I don't have anything to say that I wish I should have did that. I try to set goals in life. But the unexpected happens sometimes, but I'm enjoying it.
Mike? So I know Mike's one of those people, I get to see him a lot at the shop, and I feel like one of your expectations, you can just dress however you want to now.
Seriously, never cared. Last night, I got in and I had Oreos and pretzels and Coca-Cola on the plane. On the way in, I stopped on Veterans Highway at the Waffle House. It was open, got some waffles, and got on Front Avenue. Took a shower and realized I had my glasses on while I was showering. I've never done that before. I always remember to take. But this year, I was a great-grandfather. And I won the national championship bike wrestling and bike riding. Bike racing and bike wrestling. But
How old are you, Mike?
72.
72. Winning a national bicycle race. I mean, that's unbelievable. I can't.
But I work in my studio by myself, and riding is almost you ride by yourself. You're riding at intervals, and you can't talk. It's not friendly riding. So I'm pretty much a loner, and didn't realize, because once I hit the bike shop, I'll talk to yours off, but there's supposed to be anyone on that. To strangers, it embarrasses my wife and daughter that I'm just talking to strangers. Anything. I get out in the hallway at the street,
See, I think we can become good friends.
Yeah.
That's why Jason had to stop me.
Competing is really, it's important to me, because if you beat someone on a bicycle, in the art world, you say, well, it's not my time. I'm painterly, the paintings are huge, they want smaller. Art, I'm small, they want bigger ones. And you just have to have the right timing in that, not to get, it's total rejection constantly, and bad reviews or good reviews or whatever. You're lucky if you get a review. But racing a bicycle and competing, if you beat them, you beat them. It's really important to me to beat people. 3 hours a day to beat somebody. 3 hours a day, 365 days a year, just to beat them.
My dad he calls me on my cell phone, like, hey man, can you go around the airfield with your motorcycle and let me stay behind you to motor race you so I can train? Because there's really nobody that's fast enough, honestly, to do that. That's what's happening to him. So he sets it up like that so he can, it is so important to him. And that purpose is a big deal.
I want to not change the subject, but I'm going to be, my daughter said, she's 24, I have great grandchildren, 7 grandkids, but the daughter, the youngest one, 24, we have similar. She said, old people just talk about DNA. She's shocked. That's all they talk about. They all have DNA and they talk about DNA. And I do. And I've gone back to like one side's a Mayflower, and the other side is slavery. I mean, it's just crazy, but it's so important. I think the older people more than the younger, they don't care. And I'm looking like, where did I come from? What made me this? It's pretty critical. But I don't know if anyone else, if DNA has anything to do with this conversation, but why we are. It's like, why are we so concerned about it? And I bet we've all...
We want to be known, don't we?
Well, when you talked about DNA, I always want to figure out why I did what I did. Is it because what and who? Sure. And as I have gotten to the age of 17, I'm wondering more and more where I've come from, because there's a link to why we do as we do. Because as you look out and see, I see the younger persons coming to the babies, the age group, I'm thinking, okay, I was there at one time. Was I like that? And now I'm like, what? Who made me? Why do I act a certain way? Because in the days that I did come up in Columbus, there was segregation. And you try to balance, and you didn't know, you didn't even think about it. You just did it. And then all of a sudden, I wind up going to University of Penn, graduating from there with my master's. After I left Columbus, I didn't even think about anything that didn't happen here. I thought about what was happening now and the moment. And it's like, wow.
If I can add, I grew up in a small town in North Carolina, Greensboro, and totally segregated. But we Jews we weren't allowed to eat Jews until out of school, Yom Kippur, Passover. And what I find, as I try to do still, is to stay open-minded to the humankind that we all are. A few bad cells here, bad cells there, all over the place. But I was an object of it. I'll never forget being a kid and somebody calling me a Jew with a finger in my face. And it was my rabbi, so I didn't know. So I told my mother, I said, nobody calls me a Jew. She said, well, the rabbi can't. Okay. So, but no, that is true, but because there were only a handful of Jewish people, but we became really aware of the others who weren't really integrated and how foolish it seemed, even as a young man, that we're humans. We're just human beings, and for a short time, you think we're the only creature that can have words and vocabulary and ideas and heart and soul to talk. And it still doesn't seem it can happen faster. I hope in time to do it. I just want to say humor to the point. My parents both, gratefully, both went to college. My mother went to Goucher in Baltimore, and my father went to Johns Hopkins. That's where they're from. To the point, they really cared how we read and what we read. Yeah. And my father, and it was the beginning of another level of consciousness, I was a good reader. And my father, maybe fourth grade, would say, okay, put the book down and tell me what you just read. I'll never forget this. And I said, no, let me read it. He said, no, you already read it. Understand, do you understand? And I said, let me just, he said, no, you've read it 4 times. Tell me what you're reading. But from that point on, and I am a reader, I can read anything, any new because anything is better than nothing. The concept of nothing coming in, not much can come out. And I'm still an idiot. You know, I love to read, and I think we can learn more and offer more to the society we're a part of by learning. And I know, but my mother, in closing, did say, if you can't laugh at yourself, laugh at somebody else. She said, no, you got to. Do you ever go to a place, you see people, and they look lovely, they drove up in a nice car, and they're saying nothing. There's not like an energy of any sort coming out. A smirk would be okay, but nothing except the phone, all buried into the phone. I've done it myself. I'm not better. I've done all those things, but I'm aware, like, this is hideous. To do this. Talking is the best. Talking.
Can I pick up on that? You know, that where you sense a life in another person, you know, that animism. And for me, that's been one of the things that has kind of kept me going all through my ages, no matter what age, is that life and that wonder and that curiosity and that imagination that I think is ours forever. I mean, I don't think that that's something that we discover at a certain age. I think it's always been there. It's just a matter of uncovering it and remembering that it's perfectly okay to have it and to be creative. But is it animation and whatever brings you to life. Whatever brings you to life. I'm not saying I have the key, but I do think that's one of the keys is to be with life-giving people and to do life-giving things and to have life-giving purpose and life-giving energy. And if reading is what it is, or cooking is what it is, or making order out of chaos is what it is. I mean, it doesn't really matter what it is as long as it brings you to life. And the beautiful part about that, and I think we learned this through our tradition, is that it brings life into the world. You know, it brings life into the world. People like being around people who are alive.
The expression is the unexamined life is not worth living. And I really always held on to that concept. We're not aware, then we're really just
Aware and alert.
As you say this, I think about, because being in nursing, I have had so many different aspects of it and seeing people from different,
I remember working in intensive newborn care in Europe, and here this life force is coming forth, and you get to see it, and then you go and you work in another part, you get to see people transitioning out and what happens and how I made a difference or how I'm learning from that. And the reading part, as a part of being in the healthcare field, I have to always be alert, because what was in the book yesterday was written is already 10 years behind because everything that is coming out is already old. Somebody's already discovered. So that keeps us conscious. That's kept me conscious and alert. That's what's going on. Be in the now, because that's all you have. Yesterday is already past. Tomorrow you don't have to worry about because it's the now. And I think being aware of that consciously is real important. I don't have regrets. Probably in my 20s I probably did, maybe in my 30s, but 40s, but now it's like all that's an experience that's brought me to this point of, it's like eyes wide shut, no, they're wide open. And it's really a wonderful place to be. And it really feels good because I got back in Columbus and I'm thinking, but it's alive. There's so many places in Columbus that's alive, even Phoenix City. I mean, it's just, there's a connectiveness, and to be at where I am right now is so important for me and making what I am important to others. How can I contribute to their lives to make a difference? It's so important to me because I figured it out. Yeah, I'm still working on it.
And you know, what you said, I want to tap on it because from listening to you, it's just like you learn to love yourself first.
Yes,
That's what
yes.
it's all about.
I had to learn to love myself
before you love anybody else.
We have like 10 minutes, which I want this to go on and on and on. I don't know if there's anybody that could extend it, I'm all about it. But I had something interesting. I was preparing for this yesterday to talk with you, and in my mind, I was like, man, these are the people that got to figure it out. And I can't wait to talk to them. In the middle of this, my younger brother, he's 6 years younger than me, called me. And we talked, and he's 26, 27, he's 27, yeah, and he was saying that he can't believe that I figured it out. And I was like, and then I started thinking about my mentors. Some of them are in the room actually today. I just knew they had it figured out. And now I'm realizing maybe they didn't either. And talking to y'all, it's like kind of a relief. Really. It's okay, so I got one. I want to just we can get something quick on this, and then I want to open it up because I know they have questions. I don't want to take all the time. If you could go back and talk to yourself as a younger self, what would you say?
I'd say let go of perfectionism. It blocks creativity, it blocks spontaneity, it doesn't help a relationship.
Right.
I could go more, but let's
No, okay, all right, Ms. Donna. Work out harder.
I always worry. I think talking about moving, all those things come before
I would just say love myself no matter what. Don't try to beat myself up because I didn't accomplish something. Just love. I would just love every moment. When I was younger, I think there was a lot of regrets going on because the expectations of my parents, I was still trying to fit.
Sure.
Now it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Mike?
I live by that too. Let go, let God. And I would get rid of shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's the worst.
Self-blame.
What I shoulda, coulda done. I've always been really open-minded, so that's helped me a lot. Sure. Open-minded, about.
I would say this, that if we knew younger, just giving of yourself through the people in the shelter have validated who I am, and nobody expects to show. I'm not a show. I don't do jokes that help and serve and hug. And as an expression, to the world, you're one human, and to one human, you can be the world. Some of them are here in the room that have helped. I've had fracture in my life. I would have done a few things a lot different, but it's great to be above ground.
Yeah.
And more than that, alive and engaging and talking and trying to stay spontaneous. That is part of being alive. not too structured, not too contained, because it takes my breath away when I see the little children quite often that are already like birds with their wings clipped. They're not free of expression. They're too contained in life, not to be. And I haven't been drinking today either. That's a sincere thought.
Yeah, we have about 5 minutes. If anybody has any questions, I mean, we got the wealth of knowledge. I'm sure these folks will be willing to hang out a little while, so you're going to be around high school. Anybody have anything? Yes, ma'am.
Well, still my water, that was a good start. I really hear your mindfulness, that your progression through life has been very mindful. Well, how do you correlate that with the normal aging process of your body not doing those things that you wanted it to do when you were younger? Because I find that as I get older, I think, oh, that was never ending. Running up a stair was never a big deal. Jumping over a little wall to get the kids was never a big deal. But I feel youthful, and I know there are things I can do to help it, but how do you see your body as a shell going through this?
I'm learning to be conscious of everything I do, because what happens is that the ease of what I did as a younger-bodied individual, I might not have kept it active like she has. And I remember my son and I were playing something, and I jumped over the wall and I hit my chin, because as I went to step over it, I had no conscious awareness that the leaves, and I hit. And I now realize I have to be aware of my body. I'm in this body and I have to respect it. And if I am not taking it to the max, which I'm working on taking it to the max, because it's a machine. And I really have to be aware when I step in the tub, when I move across the floor, that I don't fall, because that could be very different for me as opposed to a 5, 6, 20, a 30-year-old. And I'm very much aware, but I'm conscious that I have to keep this body as clean as I can and eat very differently. I'm very much aware of that, because I know that as long as I'm alive and above ground, I want to do fun things. I want to be in a race and beat people.
You have to talk to yourself a lot. You have to, look and say things like, get the coffee cup, that coffee's hot, take it step by step. And, that's the mindfulness. I mean, it's just so sequential. And when you get fractured and fragmented and spinning and one of those days, that's a pretty dangerous day. And I would say slow it down. I don't mean go into demise, but slow the process down. So, because it's dangerous.
You have to
And
really
when I've overextended myself, I can be sure that that's putting me in danger, that something's going to happen.
Can I suggest, if you are able to get Turner Classic, last week they honored Diane Keaton for her long career in acting. And it was the best award show I ever saw. Not singing that, not hoopy-doo, just friends of hers talking about her long career, longer than I realized. And there was a lot of conscious aging, because a lot of the people were well over 60, some 80. I've got, may I have 1 minute? Just 1 minute?
Sure, yeah.
Our friend, Woody Allen, who closed this particular show because they both, Diane Keaton was in a movie he won the Academy Award for, so on. They stayed really good friends. So Woody Allen's telling Diane Keaton and to this crowd of maybe 1,000 Hollywood people. And he said, some of you don't know about Diane Keaton. She's so full of life, but her fear, like mine was, until I got to be 80, was about death. And Diane was smiling and said, so Diane, I'm here to tell you, and I'm going to do it to you just the way he said to this crowd, totally unexpected. He said, Diane, death is like, well, have you ever had a colonoscopy? That's what he said. And the crowd was dressed up to the nines, and she laughed. She said, yes, I've had 3 of them. He said, well, and he just had he's 83 now, Woody Allen, and he said, Life, Diane, so you know, it's like they give you a little medicine when you have a colonoscopy, and it's wonderful. It's like death. It's lovely, painless, and you're waiting on wonderful zone. He said, life, though, is like the preparation. I laugh every day when I think about it. So the point is, I don't know the answer. I'm always looking for him. I thought, this man, Einstein, and he said this in a book, when someone said, Professor, you know so much about all of that. He said, that's easy, sir. It is. Living on Earth. Particularly, he said, with the partner, that's marine duty. Meaning that all we humans, living and having discourse and uncomfortable moments, that's the tough work. And I'm really glad to be a part of this study. Really, I love it.
I want to say, too, that having just this conversation in itself has been healing. You know, there's just something so wonderful about talking out loud with other folks and not having to be alone in the head and the angst of, oh, my God, you know, and all that stuff that we do. But that in itself has just been wonderful, and having such engagement with Mike and the group is, I mean, it's really helped me feel better about this journey that we're living in.
You know, hanging out at the bike shop when I come to town, and just looking at the people of any body shape, but they have one thing in common. They're really energized internally.
I know, it's so
That's how they
attractive.
do, you know, you see, they're really alive at any age, any weight class, right? And eager. And then next door is a juice shop that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I noticed.
The smoothies at the juice shop, but I really prefer Scotch at Buddy's Mall.
I'm very aware and interesting enough that people were interested in aging consciously. I really do thank all of you all for coming because I'm thinking, how many people are going to show up about aging consciously? I'm impressed. I really am impressed.
You know, everybody's got it on their mind. You know, it's a thing that you think about somewhere in your life and how it's going to be. And I wish we could keep going. I really hate it. We should have made it longer, but we have another one coming up. So I feel like it was an honor to be a part of this. I am super excited. Thank you.
Great.